Have you ever felt like someone else held the reins to your happiness? Maybe it's a critical word from a colleague, a loved one's disapproval, or even the relentless comparison brought on by social media. What if I told you that you've been giving away your power and that it's time to take it back? Your peace is like this glass of water. Every bump, every push, and every careless action from others can make it spill unless you learn to hold it with unshakable strength. Welcome to Wisdom in Buddhism. Today, we're diving deep into timeless Buddhist teachings to discover how you can reclaim your inner peace, break free from external control, and thrive in the modern world. By the end of this video, you'll not only have actionable tools to empower your mind, but you'll also understand why your power has always been within you, waiting to be discovered. Let's begin. When we think of power, we often imagine someone at the top of a hierarchy, a CEO, a ruler, or someone commanding respect. But true power, as Buddhism teaches, is not about dominance over others. It is about mastery over oneself. This inner power is quiet, resilient, and unshakable. Imagine your mind as this lake. The surface reflects the turbulence of daily life, arguments, disappointments, and even fleeting joys. But deep below, the water remains undisturbed. That depth represents your inner peace. True power isn't found in manipulating the winds of life, but in staying anchored within this calm. Inner strength is the ability to hold your ground when the world around you is chaotic. It's the quiet confidence that arises not from wealth or status but from knowing who you are at your core. In Buddhist teachings, this strength is cultivated through mindfulness, compassion, and non-attachment. No one saves us but ourselves, the Buddha said. We ourselves must walk the path. This teaching is a reminder: our peace, joy, and resilience are not given by others, they are cultivated within. Life often feels like a relentless effort to control what's around us, our schedules, relationships, and even outcomes. But how much of this control is real? Buddhism tells us that most of our suffering comes from clinging to this illusion of control. Picture yourself gripping a balloon in a storm, trying desperately to keep it from flying away. The harder you hold on, the more exhausting it becomes. Letting go, as paradoxical as it sounds, is the key to freedom. A monk and his student were crossing a river. The current was strong, and the student, overwhelmed by fear, clung tightly to the monk. The monk gently said, "Relax. The river flows whether you resist or let it carry you. Trust it." This story reminds us that life is like that river, constantly flowing. When we stop fighting the current and instead learn to navigate it, we discover peace. Control isn't about stopping the flow, it's about learning to move with it. Start by identifying what's truly within your control: your thoughts, actions, and reactions. Everything else, the weather, other people's opinions, or unexpected events, belongs to the flow of the river. By accepting this, you conserve your energy for what truly matters. Our attachments often masquerade as sources of happiness. We cling to possessions, relationships, and ambitions, believing they define our worth. But Buddhism teaches us a profound truth: attachments are chains that tether us to suffering. Imagine carrying a backpack full of rocks. Each rock represents an attachment: expectations, material desires, fears of loss. The weight slows you down, exhausting your spirit. Letting go is not losing, it's reclaiming your freedom. Story: The Precious Vase. A wealthy merchant showed a monk his prized collection of rare vases. While admiring their beauty, the monk noticed the merchant's anxiety. The merchant admitted, "I fear they might break." The monk replied, "You don't own these vases, they own you." This story illustrates how clinging to impermanent things creates tension and worry. True freedom arises when we appreciate life's beauty without gripping it tightly. Non-attachment doesn't mean apathy, it means experiencing joy without fear of loss. The ego whispers to us, "You are incomplete without recognition. You need approval to matter." It creates an endless hunger for validation, a hunger that cannot be satisfied. This is one of the greatest traps of the human experience. Buddhism teaches that the ego thrives on comparison and control. But here's the truth: the more we feed it, the emptier we feel. True empowerment lies in letting go of the ego's grip. Ego versus authenticity. The opposite of ego is authenticity. When we embrace humility and self-awareness, we shift from a need to prove ourselves to simply being ourselves. This shift is liberating. It replaces insecurity with quiet confidence. Practical steps to reclaim your power. Step 1. Practice mindfulness. Start each day with 5 minutes of mindful breathing. Focus on the inhale and exhale. This simple practice creates a space between you and the chaos of the world, allowing you to respond rather than react. Step 2. Set boundaries. Your time and energy are precious. Learn to say no to what drains you and yes to what aligns with your values. Boundaries are acts of self-respect. Step 3. Cultivate gratitude. Every evening, list 3 things you're grateful for. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's abundant, nurturing a sense of contentment. Step 4. Self-compassion. Be as kind to yourself as you are to your closest friend. Forgive your mistakes and celebrate your efforts. Self-compassion is not indulgence, it's empowerment. Inspiring stories to illustrate these teachings. Story: The Resilient Tree. In the heart of a storm, a mighty oak tree stood tall while weaker trees around it fell. Its secret? Deep roots that anchored it firmly and a flexible trunk that bent with the wind. Like the oak, resilience arises from rootedness and adaptability. Story: The Potter's Clay. A potter shapes clay into vessels, each one unique. Imperfections in the clay are not flaws, they are what give each piece its character. Similarly, our imperfections are part of our authentic selves, not weaknesses. As we wrap up, let's revisit the core message: your power has always been within you. The teachings of Buddhism remind us that peace, strength, and happiness are not found in the external world but cultivated within. Remember, you hold the pen to your life story. So, take charge. Write boldly. And never forget that you are enough. If you found today's teachings valuable, please like, comment, and subscribe to Wisdom in Buddhism. Let's continue this journey together. Until next time, may your path be illuminated by inner peace and boundless strength.